Missed some games from yesterday's NBA action? Well, you came to the right place. Welcome to TV's Daily NBA Recap, where we recap yesterday's NBA games in a short amount of time. Let's go. The first game we're going to be discussing is the Toronto Raptors defeating the Memphis Grizzlies 108-99. Might as well say that the Toronto Raptors defeated the Vancouver Grizzlies because both teams were wearing their throwback jerseys from the 90s, which looked absolutely fantastic. But on the Raptors side of things, leading scorer Pascal Siakam, 26 points, 3 assists. On the Memphis side of things, 25 points from Dillon Brooks, along with 20 points from Grayson Allen. Now, this game was very interesting because Memphis really got to a hard start when they hit, I believe, 8 of their first 13 threes, and they just absolutely were killing Toronto from deep. But then Toronto realized, wait, we are the superior team, and they started going on a run, and they actually built up a lead to almost 20. But like the Raptors, in usual Raptor fashion, they like to keep things interesting. And in the fourth quarter, the Memphis Grizzlies made a late run, which had to be stopped by one Pascal Siakam, who hit a big three late to kind of halt everything. Okay, guys, we're good. We got this win. The Memphis Grizzlies moved to 1-5 in the bubble, and while the Raptors moved to 4-1. And the biggest takeaway from this game for me is that the Raptors still need to really get some things together, because the last two games have not been the greatest after a very, very hot start. But and these sort of games, you'll take any victory you can, and the Raptors were able to do that. From the Memphis side of things, you could see the difference when they don't have JJJ, and the type of shots that they're getting at this point is just absolutely crazy. If you watch Dillon Brooks play, you could just tell how frustrating it is to be a Memphis fan. It's just really hard to watch, and this is another example of this. Sure, you can get some shots that'll get you in the game, but the lack of experience will not get you much further. So, yeah, tough loss for the Grizzlies, who still might not be able to make the playing tournament, but they'll need to win one game. So let's see if they'll be able to do it. Another good one for the Raptors, who clinched the second seed. We move on to the next game, and we have the Oklahoma City Thunder winning 121-103 behind Gallinari's 20 points, Darius Bazley's first ever 20-point game, 23 points versus the Wizards. And on the Wizards side of things, leading scorer off the bench was Jerome Robinson with 19. Not much to speak on here. It's just the Oklahoma City Thunder just getting, taking care of business. They basically dominated all fronts. They shot over 50% from the field, just over 45% from three. And it was just an utter mismatch. The Wizards really shouldn't be there, and they've shown throughout the entire bubble why, it's just tough to watch. And the Thunder took it as an easy win, very easy game, good. And they are now in the, they're in the 5th seed now, so they're facing the Rockets, which is going to be very interesting because, the Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook dynamic, we're going to have to see how that plays out. We move on to the next game, and we have the San Antonio Spurs winning 122-113 over the New Orleans Pelicans, which in turn have eliminated the Pelicans from playoff contention. Good game from the Spurs. Very good fourth quarter from DeMar DeRozan, scoring over 10 points once again, 27 points as a whole, 19 points also contributed from Rudy Gay. On the Pelican side of things, Zion, 25 points, and J.J. Redick, the only one who looked like he was playing with heart, scored 31 points in this game. First time J.J. Redick is not going to be in the playoffs in his whole career, which sounds absolutely bonkers, but that is an absolutely true stat. Pelicans just did not look motivated. The Spurs got up to a very early lead, going over 20 points, and the Pelicans tried fighting back. They definitely did, but the Spurs' experience definitely paid off here, and they're still alive while the Pelicans are finally eliminated. I'm going to talk about them more into depth in my podcast later on today, just discussing kind of my disappointment in them. But hopefully they can regroup for next year. And for the Spurs, they still keep their chances alive, along with the Suns, Trailblazers, and Grizzlies, of course. So yeah, good win for the Spurs, and DeMar DeRozan has been permanently underrated for the Spurs. 22 points a game, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, just averaging as a Spurs player, over 50% shooting. Ever since he left the Raptors, I think he got a lot less buzz, and he's been playing pretty well, especially in this bubble in the fourth quarter where they have been relying on him heavily. So another good win for the Spurs, and honestly a disappointing outing for the Pelicans. We move on to the next game, and man, this is 7 games on the dot. We have the Boston Celtics defeating the Orlando Magic 122-119 behind 31 points from Gordon Hayward and 29 points from Jason Tatum. On the Orlando side of things, they got 26 points from Nikola Vucevic and also 18 points from Terrence Ross off the bench. And this game was extremely interesting because the Magic had control of this game throughout, and it wasn't until a late Celtics surge where it was where they're able to just get this game to overtime and honestly just use their experience to win this. Because even though it was a close game throughout, I mean, it was the Magic, having firm control. But the Celtics, like I said, they have shot makers, and you've seen it throughout this bubble. You would have a Kemba Walker game, a Jason Tatum game. There's even a Daniel Tice game. You had it, and today was a Gordon Hayward game. And like I said, when you have shot makers like this, even when you're going through a tough spell like they did against the Magic today, you're just able to pull out the victory. And they were able to. And they can't get the second seed, but the third seed is basically theirs already. So yeah, good win from the Boston Celtics. It was definitely a scare for them going to this game because the Magic did play very well, but they were able to pull off the win. We move on to the next game, and we have the Portland Trailblazers defeating the Philadelphia 76ers 124-121 behind a 51-point outing from Damian Lillard, who played absolutely fantastic in this game. And from the Philadelphia 76ers side of things, they got a very big game from Josh Richardson, scoring 34 points. The biggest story coming out of this game is Joel Embiid injuring his ankle. We don't know when he's going to be back or if he's going to come back. Highly unfortunate because we all know what happened with Ben Simmons, and he had to, get that surgery on the loose bodies in his left kneecap. And now you get Joel Embiid, who after 6 minutes had to exit the game. This team is just dwindling before our eyes, and it's just absolutely unfortunate that it has to really come to this. But they kept it close. I mean, they definitely kept it close. Portland Trailblazers had that very early start, but then the Philadelphia 76ers started crawling back. But the Trailblazers, when you have Damian Lillard playing the way he's playing, and then Carmelo Anthony giving you the production he has, in this bubble as well, they've been hard to beat, and they're definitely a tough cookie to get rid of. So yeah, the Portland Trailblazers moved just one game. Yes, half a game behind the Memphis Grizzlies for the 8th seed. So it was very likely they were going to Grizzlies Portland play-in series, but the Portland Trailblazers are looking like a very comfortable team compared to the Grizzlies. Just watching both these games yesterday. So yes, another good one for the Portland Trailblazers, and it just continues to get worse for Philadelphia 76ers fans. We move on to the next game, and we have the Houston Rockets taking on the Sacramento Kings, and they defeat them 129-112. Career high for Austin Rivers, scoring 41 points in this game. James Harden also chipping in with a cool 32. On the Sacramento Kings side of things, De'Aaron Fox doing his thing, scoring 26 points, dishing out 9 assists. And in this game, the Sacramento Kings got up to an early lead, and it wasn't until a very dominant second and third quarter where the Houston Rockets just completely broke away. And when you have, Russell Westbrook, it's weird because he didn't play this game, but they were just able to, just shoot the lights out. I mean, again, 18 3-pointers in this game. And Austin Rivers, when you get freaking 41 points from Austin Rivers and 32 points from James Harden, I mean, look, you don't count for Austin Rivers in most of these games, and he is able to, pull out the victory. They also out-rebounded the Kings, which you won't see very often from a Houston Rockets game. And just from the second quarter onwards, they just played really good defense, and the Kings just could not get anything going on the offensive end. Again, they're also the second team to be eliminated from playoff contention from this bubble. So, I mean, we didn't expect much from them, but this is still an unfortunate, loss because, the Kings had some sort of momentum, especially in 2020, but they were able to carry on in this bubble. It didn't help them. Marvin Bagley also got injured right before the bubble started. So, yeah, sad for the Kings to, lose this opportunity, but, it didn't really match up, unfortunately. And And for the Rockets, I mean, they're looking real good. Right now, they sit fourth in the East, in the West. They just overtook the Jazz and stuff. So let's see like where they're gonna place. And either way, it's gonna be an extremely fun matchup to see who they're gonna be going up against. And in the final game of the evening, we have a major upset. The Brooklyn Nets defeating the Los Angeles Clippers 129 to 120, behind a fantastic performance from Caris LeVert, who dropped 27 points and assisted 13 times. Joe Harris also chipped in with some 25 points on 5 threes. On the Clipper side of things, it was a Kawhi Leonard show. I mean, this guy really tried to get him back in this game. 39 points, 6 assists on 25 shots. Very, very efficient game. And all I can really say about this game is that the Clippers just stepped off the gas pedal. Like, they kind of underestimated the Nets, and that led them, especially that first quarter. I mean, 45 points in the first quarter, very uncharacteristic of these Los Angeles Clippers. And a lot of people are going to say, you know, they're not really trying, blah, 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 blah. Like, even like when they had like these two guys, I'm going to go into detail with this in my podcast later, but they just have these patches where they just kind of like let the foot off the gas, and they let teams like, you know, the Trailblazers, they let teams like that kind of, and like even the Suns like last week, like kind of like get the confidence, and when they finally turned off, it's kind of too late. So this is kind of the case in this game. But you know, the Brooklyn Nets, surprisingly 4-2 in this bubble, looking like pretty good. A lot of people thought it was going to be like kind of an easy one no matter what, but they've been playing pretty decent. And when you have shooting from like Joe Harris like that, who looked super confident, especially early in that game, like just like taking threes like from anywhere. And 23s that game, like they just can't allow that. They're gonna probably lose every time. So good one from the Brooklyn Nets, who managed to stay in the 7th seed. I mean, they're like 2.5 games ahead of the Magic, so it's very likely they're gonna face the Raptors in the first round. So yeah, good one for the Brooklyn Nets, and I'm gonna definitely talk about the Clippers when we get to it later on in the podcast today. Thank you guys for listening. Remember, if you're listening to watching this on YouTube, please like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. If you're watching this on IGTV, leave a follow. That would be very much appreciated. And also drop a like on this video and comment what was your favorite game from last night. So yeah, thank you guys for listening, and I'll talk to you guys later on today's podcast. Peace.